We're here at South by Southwest 2010 talking to Dom Segola. He's the author of the new book, which we have right here, 140 Characters, Style Guide for the Short Form. Dom, how are you doing?
Great.
Thanks for taking time to talk with me today.
My pleasure.
So you, some people may or may not know, you are one of the original folks at Twitter.
That's right, when it was called Odeo.
Okay.
And that was almost 4 years ago.
Yeah, so what did you do at Twitter?
So I was the head of quality, which means I was the only test engineer at the company. I got to try it before it all went out to the public and try to break it basically.
Right.
And actually one of the early ways in which I did break the model was I started following everyone on the system, and that included friends and family, moms, aunts, sisters of the people at the company, and it got a little confusing. So they wanted a way to have them tell us that they would rather remain private. And so they had a little flag in the system, which was the evolution of what we call protected status on Twitter.
Right. So one of the things I've noticed you do a little differently than a lot of people is you have many separate Twitter accounts. So instead of just having one persona, so to speak, online, you kind of break things up. Can you explain that a little bit?
Sure. So early on, actually the story goes that a bunch of us were laid off right before this thing went public. And so I don't know if you've ever been laid off. It's not a very good experience, and in order to deal with myself, I got into my sport, which is surfing, and I was tweeting a lot about surfing, and it kind of annoyed my followers, particularly Jeffrey Veen. If you're watching, Jeff, I apologize. But so the idea was I created a second account, and I started just talking about the conditions every day, and that got me onto this idea that I could create different voices, different audiences for the message, and I started collecting them. I have about 25 or so active accounts, and I just basically am always writing. You'll find that my main account only has a couple of tweets a day, but the other ones, if you add it all up, you'll see that I'm actually writing quite often. So it's an outlet for me.
And can we find your other accounts through your main account? Or are you following those so people can follow that?
You can find them there. You can also go to the appendix of 140 characters. They're listed there, a bunch of them. The accounts that I have are at Surf, at Work, at iPhone DevCamp, at The Book, which is this account for the book. There's also an iPhone application, and that's called Book App. That's on Twitter. But everything I do, every project that I have has its own voice, has its own account, so that I can easily reference that, and then if a person wants to learn more, they can tap on that and get more context.
Cool. So let's talk about your book a little bit. It's just come out?
Yep, came out in October.
And then what's the book about, if you can explain it to
Sure. It's what I call the history of Twitter and then my vision for the future. So the introduction contains that story of first off the lineage behind the short format, but then also the history of the company, and then kind of where we're going from there. And my vision is that we're all leading a conversation. And so the book is as much about leadership as it is about anything else. It's about how to take control of this conversation, take it in a direction of your choosing, and lead your users, your audience in a certain direction, and lead the story.
Right. Now, another thing you're working on or kind of helping out on is this new device called Square.
That's right.
Can you explain that a little bit?
Well,
You've got one?
I keep it here in my fifth pocket. This is a credit card swiper that plugs into the audio jack of your smartphone.
Okay.
And it allows me to take payments wherever I am. And what happens is it's about a 30-second experience.
Mm-hmm.
Swipe the card, sign with your finger, and get an email receipt with a map where the location of the transaction took place.
Now, can you tell me anything about release date, price, any of that?
I can't, but definitely stay tuned to @Square or check out squareup.com, and also follow Jack because he's occasionally talking about what he's up to.
Okay.
And follow the Square team, you can get a hint of what's going on.
Okay. And then one last thing, you're a big supporter of the iPad device coming out, and you're doing developer camps.
Yep.
Can you
so
explain that?
Coming up in about a month, April 16th to 18th, worldwide, we're having iPad Developer Camp, which is where we get everyone with an iPad to come together and share their ideas and find a team. Take something from design and into demo. And then we give prizes for all these categories like best game, best music app, best open source, most educational, most useful, coolest app. And all of our sponsors donate prizes, and then we give them recognition. And then, most recently, our coolest app, it was most useful app from iPhone DevCamp 3. Got published on the App Store, featured by Apple, and then won Best in Show at Macworld. So we have a lineage of success in publishing with our alums. So we encourage you to go to iPadDevCamp.org, sign up for a satellite near you, or come to the San Jose event.
So Dom, real quick, this is a pretty easy one. Where can we find you on Twitter? Your main, just you.
You can find me at Dom on Twitter, and then I encourage you also to follow at the book,
Right.
which is where you can hear all about the tour and the various events going around that book.
All right, Dom, thank you very much.
Thank you.